I'm doing the audition through Zoom, and it's the monologue Matthew has with Quintus, and the Zoom froze, and I started panicking, just like what Matthew would have done. So I'm looking all around, I'm like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Like, this is not going my way. You see me do this, and then it unfroze with me doing this. And then I just see them, and I was like, oh, and then I went back into the scene and just finished it.
Hey, it's Bill from The Morning Cruise. Welcome to Chosen Conversations. We sat down with several cast members and the creator of The Chosen at ChosenCon to chat about their experiences on the show and about season 5. Today's guest is Paras Patel, who plays the character of Matthew. We talked to Paras about growing up in Florida and how he got the part. So let's dive into our conversation. Enjoy this Chosen Conversation with Paras Patel.
It's Dave, Bill, and Carmen, the Morning Cruise here at the Joy FM.
All right, we have Paras here with us this morning. He plays Matthew on The Chosen. So Paras, just so you know who we are, we're the Morning Cruise with Dave, Bill, and Carmen. We're a syndicated morning show. We're in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, and parts of Tennessee.
I've been to all those states.
Have you?
So
well,
great.
You'll have
Born
to
and
come.
raised in Florida, so there we go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get to you, Mom. So here's the thing.
Mom!
Yeah!
Oh, that's a special guest. Yes. Yeah.
So,
Moms are the special
listen,
guests.
I'm
Yes.
telling you what, when we got the invitation to come to ChosenCon, there was no way in the world that I could get on a plane, fly to Charlotte, and not bring my...
Mom, yeah.
Yeah, and we call her Mohair. If you call her Mohair, she'll love it. There's
Mohair.
a story behind it.
Okay.
For another day.
Okay.
But Mohair, she is the biggest Chosen fan. She has done her homework. She's helped us show prep. She wrote 11 pages, handwritten notes about all of you guys. Yes, yes, yes.
Mohair, you're killing it.
Yes, Mohair, she is killing it. Yeah.
They had to learn?
We had to learn, yes. She's further along than we are. So we told her to earn her trip, she had to kick the interview off and that she had to ask the first question. So, Mom,
okay.
what would you like to ask Paras?
I want something like, I understand you're a Florida boy and we love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Do you go home and visit anytime?
Oh, I do.
You get a chance?
I'm so close to my family, so I try to see them multiple times a year.
Good.
In fact, in between filming the seasons, I go home to Florida. It balances me, it keeps me humble.
Well, you're going to have to come join us on the show.
We're in Tampa. We're based out of
you're
Tampa.
in Tampa? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm in
and you're
Orlando
in Orlando.
area. Yeah.
We're 98.1 in Orlando.
Tampa, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends from Tampa because I went to school at UF.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't go to USF, but I
Okay.
went to
No,
UF.
no,
but
that's okay. Go
been to Tampa
Gators.
a lot. It's a nice area.
Yep.
Well, who is the jokester, the funny guy on the set of the cast? I'm just curious.
It's Jordan Walker Ross.
Is it?
Yeah, hands down. Did everyone say that?
Yes.
Yeah. But also, like, all of us have elements of being, like, a jokester. Jonathan likes to joke around sometimes.
Yeah.
Myself, George, like, I think when we film the show and it's very intense,
Yes.
you need the joking and
And
kind of
I
something to
love
keep
that.
it balanced, so, you know, it kind of eases the tension and allows us to, like, our bodies can take a breath in a way, you know?
Sure.
So you went to UF, finance degree, is that right?
I did. Did you do your research?
Well, she did. So you get a finance degree and then you end up playing a tax collector. So
Right?
that seems right.
Yeah, it's finished.
No.
Yeah, no, it was just, I always think about that because it didn't click with me until like maybe season 2. And I was like, wait, I studied this in school and I'm now, playing former tax.
So how did you end up in the role of Matthew? How did this come about?
You know, it started with an audition. That's how most roles start when you know, casting. And a friend of mine at the time was a casting assistant for the show. And I was in a period where I just like wanted to go home to Florida to take a break because it was September, it was fall. I got close to a really big opportunity, didn't go my way, so I was just like, I think I need a break for myself. And so I went home, and then my friend messaged me with the audition for Matthew, and she said, I think you'd be a good fit. Here's some like little notes about, you know, playing, you know, somewhat OCD and he's on the spectrum and stuff. And so I was like, okay, cool. And I read the scripts and I was just blown away because it was just so personal and relatable and human. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, let me try to like put myself into it. So I sent a tape and then she ended up saying that Dallas loved it. And so I think she overspoke, but she mentioned how he's going to go with you. And I was like, what? And so I had the callback, which is like the second round.
Right.
And so I didn't want to get excited about it. So I was at the callback. I'm like, okay, I think she said he's going to go with me. So I was like, okay. So I'm like in the callback. And this was when I was in Florida, so we had to do it through Zoom. And so I'm doing the audition, and it's in season 1, it's the monologue Matthew has with Quintus. And the Zoom froze. Like literally, I'm in the monologue and I don't see my face moving, so you just see me do a double look, and I started panicking, just like what Matthew would have done. So I'm looking all around, I'm like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Like, this is not going my way. And you see me do this, and then it unfroze with me doing this. And then I just see them, and I was like, oh. And then I went back into the scene and just finished it. And then usually when you do a read, the director will give you like a note or a feedback. After that, Dallas was like, great, thanks, you'll hear from us soon. So I was like, oh, I didn't get a note, like an adjustment, but he said see you soon. So I was like, great, okay, I think I got it. And then I didn't hear back. And so I was like, okay, that was an interesting experience. I think what I learned from that is when glitches or things happen to us, rolling into that, adjusting to it, going with the flow is more important. So it freed me up. And then
how long was it before you did hear back?
So that callback happened, right? And they started filming like I think 2 weeks later. So that time had already happened. So that's when I was like, oh, I didn't get the part. And I was just like, that guy lied to me. So in my mind, no. So I was just like, all right, it is what it is. And so I let it go. And then I think from their start date, 3 days in, I get a call and they're like, hey, you're actually their choice. And can you get on a plane and leave like in a few days, like in 2 days? And I came to find out that they had already cast another actor, but then it was Dallas's wife, Amanda, who just felt this spiritual calling that she felt like I would fit the trajectory of where they wanted to take Matthew. And so that's what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
That was a long story, right?
No,
But
it's great.
just, it's all about calling. And so, when we talk about how I did finance and now playing a numbers guy, it's all planned out for you. It is your path. You just have to walk alongside it,
I think Matthew's character being on the spectrum, two things. One, it's given you a little bit of a platform in some ways.
Yeah.
But then also, I think that was one of the things that, this show is kind of set apart in that it humanizes people that we basically know as a list of 12 guys.
Yeah.
And it was Matthew being on the spectrum that really put The Chosen in a different light for a lot of people. Watching, there's a long arc before you're calling, and we really get to kind of know Matthew. And then it does things that we don't think about. The relationship between Matthew and the other disciples, the fact that he was a tax collector, we know it from Scripture. We know tax collectors were not really all that loved. But I don't think we ever thought about what does that do to the dynamic of the 12 people in the group. And we've seen that specifically between you and Simon Peter.
And the way that you've played it, the way you played him.
Yeah. What's also interesting to me is exploring that, but also Matthew finding his relationship to himself and finding his own presence. Because throughout that whole season 2, where, everybody was conflicted of having this former betrayer join, and you see like different sides of everyone's personalities, it also helped Matthew just be stronger and trust himself, trust God, and just move forward. And so you see that development in him, and that, like, for me, as the actor portraying Matthew, just set the ball rolling of building him as this leader and finding his own presence and encouraging others who identify with Matthew or even can relate to that, see that in themselves. And through the portrayal of Matthew being neurodivergent, it's been so important for me to amplify the voices and awareness and bring that light to those out there to show that you belong.
Oh, thank you so much. Has that been something that you've heard? Because with Matthew's character, many people would say, Matthew is my favorite character on this show.
Yeah.
Has that fed back in creating awareness for neurodivergent people, and is that something you steward?
A lot of times I like to recap of where I am in life and in moments, and so I always there was a moment where I had of like, why am I, what am I doing? How am I going to contribute to the world? What is my goal here? And it was through the show and Matthew's portrayal that really made me realize that this is my purpose, not only as an actor, but as someone that, helps others and uses art in that way. And so it just became something I am very passionate about. I think just reading feedback of those out there that relate to Matthew and his journey and who he is, and those who aren't neurodivergent still relating to someone that doesn't see value in themselves, and that kind of spoke to me because I relate to that too. I think we all can. I think we've all been through life in that way. And so I just want to show people Matthew's journey in that, where it's not always easy, but if you keep working towards the path and keep fighting any obstacles and lean into those, you learn from it and makes you a better person. So yeah, I would just say this character has given me my purpose as an actor, an artist, and that's why I continue to try to raise awareness and work with organizations to do that.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Nice
It was
to meet
such
you.
a pleasure meeting you.
I'll give you a hug.
Oh, thank you. You take care now.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to this chosen conversation with Paras Patel. On the next episode, we have Noah James, who plays Andrew on The Chosen. To watch any of these episodes or see bonus content from ChosenCon, subscribe to the Joy FM's YouTube channel or follow us on social media at The Joy FM.